The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the participants and do not reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
BronxNet. Your voice, your views, your vision.
Good evening and welcome to BronxTalk. In our ongoing commitment to Bronx culture and artists, tonight we spotlight one of our best-loved photographers who's been taking pictures for the Norwood News and the Bronx News Network for about 3 years. And in that time, he's amassed an amazing archive of photos that, when you step back and look, provide a wonderful perspective on our borough and its people. So let's enjoy the fine Bronx photography of Adi Talwar. Good evening, Adi. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Before we get to these pictures, and folks, just stay with us because you're really going to love what you see. It's a little background. You have been a photographer for how, I guess formally, as I said, for 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years. Initially, I was lucky. As a early teens, I got exposed to a black and white darkroom. My uncle of mine put together a homebrew enlarger. And to be in there, to watch, just black and white images sort of getting developed, come out of nowhere, was amazing. It was like magic.
It was like something that started at nothing, and all of a sudden, pictures.
And I would get scraps of paper, and then develop old family negatives. So that was my basic introduction.
High school age, junior high school age, as a young adult?
I was around 13, 14, somewhere there.
And, I should tell people that I don't have any notes here. We're just going to ask and try to find out how much, what we can learn about Adi. You grew up here in the Bronx?
No, I'm originally from India.
From India?
Yeah.
And when did you come here?
About 10 years ago.
Okay, so all of this that you're describing happened in India?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And so you were interested in photography, and at what point did you actually pick up a camera and start using it to tell a story and also as artwork?
Back in India, I remember, fooling around with the camera a little bit, not too much. It was expensive. And there were other things to do. And I never really got deeply into it. I ended up making models as a professional model maker, and I got exposed to advertising photographers.
When you say models, what do you refer to?
A cup, super large size, or liquid splashing, rigs for that.
For commercial uses?
For basically advertising.
Oh, I see.
And we most of the time would work for the still camera. Unlike a film camera where, for sets for film, you can get away with fudging things. For still, you can't. The image is always there, and you can see it.
Right.
So that was a big learning curve on the photography side there, because I saw these photographers working with the props. And then once digital photography came, then it became accessible.
I was about to say, I was waiting for that moment, because it was only a matter of time before film, which was very expensive. And
yes.
You couldn't experiment much, because every experiment cost you something.
Oh, yes.
For the film and, of course, the developing. But then digital photography, a young man like you could go nuts.
Oh, yeah. The first digital camera I got, in fact, it was a friend who'd bought a camera that used to be really expensive, and I just sort of grabbed it. And he later was complaining that you're not letting me play with it.
And did you ever take a lesson or anything like that? Or all of this was just your creative mind and your fascination with the notion of capturing images and, projecting?
No formal lessons at all. It was basically talking to people, reading a lot, and then just shooting a lot. Guidance, obviously. I've had some people guide me. This is the person I really respect a lot back in India, Mr. Pradeep Das Gupta. He's an advertising photographer, and he sort of gave me guidance as to do this, or you're straying here.
I haven't again telling all, I haven't seen any of these images that you're going to put up there, except for one, which we commented on together on the Bronx News Network because I was fascinated by that photograph. So let's just start looking at them, and I'll ask you some questions about the Bronx and the Bronx as subject matter, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
So Jane Folloro is our commandeer here. Now, what is this? Well, look at this.
Yeah, this is in fact shot a few weeks ago. This was at the Oval Park, the Williamsbridge Oval Park, and this was the national night out. And yeah,
is there something of? I mean, it's just gorgeous, and it certainly tells you stories about the Bronx. There's something in particular about this photograph that you like, or other than just its attractiveness?
I don't know. It's. I was right there with these guys, and there was the stepladder there. I was trying to get in, and normally I'm going to try and get as close as possible. It's just the eyes of the little boy, right? He's watching.
The expression of the youngster in front. Yes, all right, let's go to the next one. What do we got next? Let's see what it is.
And the lady's concentration. That's you.
Oh my goodness!
Yes, that's you.
That's the scariest thing I've ever seen. What?
Well, this was right here. Right here, I think I was standing somewhere there.
Under what circumstance was that? Was I unhappy about something?
I don't know. Well, there was this the debate, if you remember.
It was with
Carberera and.
No, it was that the debate for controller, maybe.
No. This was.
Right.
See, this
one
is
of the debates.
One of the debates. Now, I'm not really good with my memory, but there's another photograph. I don't know.
All right, just keep it going. Yeah. Jane, just throw some more. Oh my goodness! Now, what is this?
Now, this is. I did a few of these. This friend of mine, whose camera I initially sort of commandeered, he actually gave me a professional camera.
Right.
At one point, initially when I started out shooting for the Norwood News, I was just shooting with a point and shoot, which let me do manual control. So one point he was upgrading. He just gave me a camera. So he started this whole thing of a pic a day. So this was one of those. We were supposed to
pick a day.
A picture a day.
Oh, a picture a day.
So you're sort of forced to think about making a picture a day.
Oh, so what is this?
This is actually a book.
A book.
A book. Those are pages, and you can see the binding at the top where the shadow is.
Wow.
And there's obviously light coming through. So.
And did you play with the developing or the imagery afterwards, or everything is as you capture it?
As you capture it. But then if you actually shooting it, you're controlling the studio environment, so you don't really need to control it afterwards. You're controng it before making the image.
What it actually made me think of was what the old shutters looked like, the way they opened.
Yes,
and
yes.
All right, let's go. Let's show some more pictures. Fantastic. What do we got? Well, so we go from something that's almost surreal to something about as real as can be. Now, where is this?
This is the Bronx River Parkway. This is just under the Bronx River Parkway, the Bronx River. This is the flotilla that happens every year. Unfortunately, this year I wasn't able to cover it. This was the previous year.
But this is spectacularly beautiful with the blue reflection in the front and the colors, and of course, as we were talking about earlier, the idea about shooting in the Bronx. What is it about this borough and a shot like this that really excites you and interests you?
I think one can't be in a better place. The people are real. You see real expression. You see people being happy, or if people are really upset, there are no pretenses. It's all there. And it's a beautiful borough. Otherwise, also. Right?
That photograph, for anybody who would look at it without knowing where it's from, would say, "Oh, that must be some suburban place or some rural place." It has such rich color and just spectacular. There's a look at it again. That is just a lovely photograph. Were these published anywhere, or?
Yeah, I think these came out on in the Norwood News, and then I put up a slideshow on the Bronx News Network.
Bronx News Network. All right, let's see the next one. These are beautiful.
Thank you. See, this is the debate I'm talking about. Yeah, that's the debate I'm talking about.
I see. That was Fernando Cabrera.
Yes, I mispronounce his name. I often do that. So.
That's all right. Well, whatever. I see. And those were your colleagues from the Norwood News who were asking the questions, and I was kind of moderating the whole scene. All right, keep going. Pictures of me, that knocks me out. Go ahead. What is this?
This is Little Italy here in the Bronx. This was, I think, the Feast of Saint Anthony. I think this was 2 years ago.
Like doing a little horse racing or
These are these water guns. Water guns.
Yeah,
and I just happened to be standing there making these photographs, and this couple was having this moment. And, you know, it was just a gift for me.
As I told you beforehand, what I just love about your work, and we saw the range actually just now, not only, of course, the pictures of me, but you had the young children, children of color in the park. You had, you know, the surreal picture that you took. You have the beautiful expanse of the Bronx River, and then here's just some traditional Caucasian couples having a good day. To me, this is
the Bronx.
This is our borough. All right, I'm loving this. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Keep it going. What do we got?
This is. I was there. This was the Eid celebration in the Bronx. I don't remember which street. No. And again, it was Bronx News Network who sent me there to shoot this. And they just finished their prayers, and people had gotten up, and they were greeting each other, hugging each other. And the sun was coming in, and I happened to be standing there, and this gentleman was there, and the sun was hitting his face. And it was like, you know.
Well, you know, of course, being a good photographer means also being in the right place at the right time. Yeah. So again, put that one up again. That photograph, it looks as if you touched it up or you did, but this was as it was.
This is as it is. This is as it is. And I don't even think it's, I think what's happening here, why the blues are seeming to be so blue, is that it's trying to balance the warm light that is coming in.
So that's the beauty of, in some cases, automatic photography works against you. In this case, it helped you illuminate the subject.
In the sense that I most likely use auto white balance. So this is what happened.
Do you go out of your way to make something creative, or do you just have a sense? Like, do you say, hey, I'll stand here and try to get that? Or do you just have a sense and things kind of just show up like that? And if you're good at it and know a little versatility, it works out?
Well, it just depends on a situation. I know one thing. The first time when I went out to shoot people, I found it really difficult to pick up the camera. Back with friends and family, it was no problem.
Because you felt self-conscious about it.
Yes.
Because you're such a nice guy.
Thank you. But one gets over that. So, yes, there will be situations on a street where you might want to frame a shot and then wait. And then something will happen.
Something will come into that frame. But you see, that's the quote-unquote genius if you're a good photographer, to get a sense this is a good spot.
Yes. But then what often will happen, that's not normally the way I operate. Normally I'll just walk around and things will catch my attention, and then you just...
We're always out of time, and we always have more to show than we want. So what do we got next? Let's go. Oh, here we go.
So here, the other team was hardly, we had the Bronx Borough President just about 20 yards away. My camera had stopped working, the big camera, so I had this point and shoot, and I walked up to them, and I put up the point and shoot, and they didn't take me seriously. If I had put up the big camera, they would have reacted different. So they just kept doing what they were doing.
So it allowed you to kind of eavesdrop, as it was. Yeah. Of course, from a political perspective, there are many of my political viewers who are going to say, oh my goodness, the borough president supported Maria Baez. You probably have a lot of political history encased in your lens there. All right, keep going. What do we got? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this is again from that series from the Pick a Day. This in fact is a bush, or the hedge to the Bronx History Museum. I was walking with my daughter, and I saw these. And this
like Japanese lanterns or something. I mean, I'm not a
no, these are like 2 foot high. It's a hedge.
And again, you didn't play with this. This was how you took
it. No, see, here it's becoming a little rich, as in the system's making it a little saturated. It's when we see it on the monitor. So what normally I will do with my photographs is when they come off, I shoot raw normally, but this was shot JPEG because it was a point and shoot. So the way I process my the raws is you'll balance the levels, and you know.
Do you, this is for the photography wonks out there. You like one type of camera, a Nikon, a Canon, or something, or?
They're all good. This friend of mine, Grish, he gave me a Canon, so I'm shooting a Canon, and you know, the Nikon is as good as Canon, and you know.
So it's not, and for you, it's whatever is in your hand. You feel like it's like a painter with a paintbrush.
Yes,
You can,
yes, and basically just need to get used to the menus. That's all. But
right,
you know.
right. All right, let's see what's next. Jane, just let me know if we're running out of pictures. I hope we never run out of them. Now, what is this?
Now this is
looks like the IFB that I put in my ear before each show.
Well, this is a drop of milk. It's a drop of milk. The left-hand side is the actual shot. The right-hand side is the negative of it and a mirror.
So you did play with.
Yeah,
this
here there is Photoshop here.
Wow, and now a drop of milk where? In another liquid?
Yeah, in water. In water with a black background and lit from the side. So you can see the lights coming in from the side. And
How long a shoot was it? Did you take like hundreds of pictures to get this?
I wouldn't say 100. Yeah, about 100 pictures. I kept dropping milk and kept shooting.
And of course, we didn't want to cry over spilled milk. But yes, of course. But who would look at this? What an incredible
Thank you, sir.
photograph. Keep going, Jane. Don't look at me. We've had enough of me on this show. Oh, my goodness gracious.
Now, again, Photoshop, I don't know whether it's the left side or the right side, but half the image, if you cut it vertically, it's a colander throwing a shadow on the wall.
Wow, so that's where you strain your spaghetti.
Yes, yes.
And the light is somewhere in the middle of it?
There's a flash lighting behind it.
You do this in a studio in your home, or just like?
Oh, this was in fact, we were watching TV. There's this mattress on the floor, and I had the colander with me. I was fooling around with it, and I saw this. So then I went and got the flash and just shot it on the wall.
You know, when I'm watching the reruns of Bronx Talk on TV, I really don't get as creative as that. I can tell you.
Thank you.
Right.
Okay. This is this year's the parade and the fair.
The Bronx parade.
Bronx parade. This was actually.
Oh, it's the arm wrestling.
Championship.
Wow. And where were you located? You had to be above, obviously.
Yes, I was on a step ladder. They were very kind to give me one, but still I didn't have enough height, so I was holding the camera up, and I was sort of guessing at my frame.
And there are a number of things that are extraordinary about it, but on the right-hand side, the gentleman's arm, I guess because of the perspective you have, it kind of makes him like Popeye the Sailor Man.
Yes, this is not a super wide lens. It's 18 mm, but then you multiply it by a 1.6 crop factor. So,
and of course, with the White Castle in the middle, what a wonderful. You seem to like rich colors, and you know what I mean. Some people like to flatten the tones, but you like to emphasize the tones.
Yes,
wow.
Definitely.
All right, keep going. Jane tells me we're not going to run out of pictures. Oh, more politics. Now, who is this?
Now, this was during the hearing that the community board had for the armory development. This is a gentleman from the Morton Williams.
Yes, from the supermarket. Yes,
and so they were asked to leave, and as they were leaving, he sort of lost it.
As a photograph that tells a story, this tells a lot of story in there, because he was certainly angry, and you've got the circular in front of him.
Yes, that was lucky. You sort of have to be prepared, and then luck.
Lucky. All right, I've never been that lucky. Go ahead.
Okay, so this is what I was talking about. So this is Fordham Road, which just happened 2 weeks ago, the street
festival, right?
And so there was this toy store, and lots of kids inside the toy stall, and they had these blow-up dolls outside. So inside I really couldn't go, it was too crowded, so I sat outside. I framed the shot, I checked my exposure, and then I just waited. I wanted a kid to come in.
And did you end up shooting a lot of these, or was
No. I shot about maybe 2 shots. This was the only kid that actually walked by, and I was disappointed at that time that he didn't come up. The mother didn't let him actually come up to this. But then later, when I was going through the shots, I thought, wow, what an expression. It's like, his eyes.
The desire to be near those. Wow, that's great. All right, keep going. Speaking of politics, well, this is beautiful because there's our friend Bob Capstatter at the Daily News looking at Pedro Espada.
Exactly. You know, this was, again, this was the day he lost. He'd given his speech. He'd come down, and I was up on a bar stool on my knees, and it was a little rickety.
Jane just pointed out to me, look, the nails on Espada's shoulder. That is fantastic.
Yes, yes. Now, you can't plan this. This just happens,
Listen,
right?
You can't plan a lot of the things you shoot. But certainly as a Bronx photographer, has Bob Capstatter seen this picture?
Oh, yes, he has.
I'm sure he loves it. Fantastic. Now, was it published anywhere? I could see that one would have been a news photo. That
one of those series did get published. I'm not sure if this particular one got published or not.
He takes so many great pictures he doesn't even know. That's the beauty of it. All right, let's see. Oh, this is the one. Take off that BronxTalk logo. Can you get that off there? There we go. This is the picture I saw, and the first thing I thought of was the movie Yellow Submarine, and you know, in Pepperland, and I insisted on this blog that this had to be photoshopped or made up, but you said no, this is
no. Here again on the monitor here, it's seeming a little rich.
If you look to the left,
that's closer to what it is. Now, what happens every evening is this is from my living room window. Every evening we get warm light on this building, and it sort of makes it.
Is that?
This is right on Tryon Avenue at Reservoir Oval West.
Okay.
And so as the sun is setting, you get warm light on this. As luck would have it, that day we had a dark sky, and we had a double rainbow.
Now, were you waiting, or did you see it and you just grabbed the camera?
I was doing something. I saw this out of the window. I jumped out of my skin. Literally, I was thinking, okay,
get the camera, get the camera.
And I ran. I took some shots. Then I went to the roof, but by then
it was gone. But you know, it looks like a train, and it looks like one of those cartoon figures where it's got a face in the front with a little hat. It is just, I love this picture. I love this picture, and the fact that it is real and the fact that it's in the Bronx is more of the story. Keep going, Jane. I'm just overwhelmed here. Go ahead, keep going. Show me some more. Oh, here we go. Sandy Koufax, of course. This deal with Clinton, larger than life.
This is, I'd gone down to shoot their team, and this gentleman was practicing his pitching.
Right.
So I wouldn't have gone there. They wouldn't have let me go there if somebody was hitting. So he was just, so I sort of lay down and framed it up.
You were aware of the image of Tracy Towers behind it and the juxtaposition of that image?
Yes. So he did this a few times. It wasn't just one shot. I made a few shots. So.
I understand that. But, you know, it makes him look as like any great major leaguer, yet with the schoolgirl there and the building behind him, it's clearly an urban youngster.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And thank you.
Great. Next. Oh, my goodness.
This is a performance by Street Beat at the Lehman Center for the Performing Arts.
Mm-hmm. The lighting on the drums was the lighting that was there.
There you can't really light anything. You just deal with whatever you have, and that's the great thing about stage. The hard work of lighting is already done.
If people look at these photographs and say, "Gee, I'd love to either own them or buy prints or things," do you sell them?
Oh, yes.
Are they available? How do we do that?
You can get in touch with me on my website, rollat.com/addy.
Okay, Jane, do we have that up? We certainly we're going to put that website up there because we're only showing a fraction of this incredible work, and I really love how humble you are in saying, "Oh, you know, it's just got to be lucky." Believe me, I've taken enough pictures, and I'm just not that lucky. Anyway, it's rollat.com/Adi.
Yes, thank you.
And that is the website for people to contact you, and you can get print. And you do publish prints or things like that?
Yes. And if anybody wants me to come cover events, I will come and do that. I need work. Thank you.
Well, that's fine. No, I have no problem saying that because people can see here the work is not only going to be like your standard wedding or bar mitzvah shots. These are really spectacular photos. Keep going.
Thank you.
We have a little more time. I want to see more. Oh, my goodness.
Now, here I was waiting for Alex.
Alex Kratz.
News. I was waiting outside the office. We were going to go for a debate or we were going to go for a hearing or something. And
something boring.
something political, right? And these kids were having a ball. These kids are my neighbors. They were having a ball.
At a hydrant, I assume?
Yes. And my only fear was that or regret was I couldn't go closer for
because
fear
you
of getting
get
the camera wet.
Yeah. All right, Jane, let's rush and show a couple more before we run out of time. Go ahead. What do we got?
Botanical Garden, their last Kiku show, chrysanthemums. And I'd done everything there. I'd done the close-up shots of the chrysanthemums. I was walking around and I saw the tree. And I
have to tell you, that's a little unfair. Anybody could shoot at the Botanical Garden. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Gorgeous.
It's such an asset for us.
Sure, for someone like you, though. Oh my, this looks like that same building.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
On a different night, but you caught the lightning.
Yeah, now lightning again is a game of numbers. So you got to click. You've got to set your shutter to remain open a long time.
And you do have. I saw that you had published a time-lapse photography about the hurricane. Maybe not the most dramatic thing you've ever seen and that you've ever done. But do we have time for one more, Jane? We show up one more. Ah, there we go. What a way to go out, huh?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Now, this was again the Forum Road Festival just 2 weeks ago, and these ladies were dancing. What caught my eye? I was photographing another couple. What caught my eye was her flowing skirt, and I shot 3 photographs, and the camera wouldn't click after that, and it turned out that I'd run out of space on the card, so I had to go away, change the card, come back,
and you got it. Adi Talwar, let's put up his website again. Thank you so much for this little few minutes of joy, and for everybody else, that's where you can go get more of Adi's work. And if you're looking for a photographer, you can see we're talking about not just this level, but this level and this level. And we appreciate you spending the time with us tonight.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. I do appreciate it.
Folks, if you have further comments or questions on anything you heard on tonight's show, anything going on in the Bronx, and email those to us at BronxTalk@hotmail.com, and we'll read those on the air during a future edition of our program. Archives of the show are available at BronxNet.org. You click Bronx Talk, which is all the way down at the bottom on the right-hand navigation bar. And next week, we'll focus on a Bronx organization that's on the cutting edge of a number of technical, educational, and environmental initiatives. Perscolis with us next Monday night. So we'll see you then and every Monday night at 9 for Bronx Talk. Thanks to producer Jane Folloro. Our director today was Sean Lilly. Dina and our cast of thousands up in the booth and around us. Special thanks to Adi, and make sure you see his work in the Norwood News and the Bronx News Network. And to you, good night.
Thank you, boss.
Stay there, don't get up.